Hi, my name is Tai. I'm right here in the heart of the ancient city of Ibadan, where I run a creative agency called Imago DA. Okay, we're right here in one of the business districts. It's called Bodija. Um, we're surrounded by a ton of small businesses. Africa is home to I'm sure like a million and maybe one extra small businesses is such an integral part of our culture. And Imago DA has one big dream, okay? And what we want to see is to see homegrown African ideas, homegrown African products, homegrown African businesses become the world's most valuable brands. Right? We're passionate about seeing you as a business owner, or whether you work for a business, we're passionate about seeing your businesses grow and scale up. But more than anything else, we want to help your target market fall in love with you. We want to put you in such a way that we want to help you grow such that your target market falls absolutely in love with you. And why is this important? The truth is, people don't exactly buy products, right? They buy brands. People don't buy what you created, or maybe we should put it this way, what you see as what you have created. They buy what they see. People will buy the perception that they have. People will buy what they believe you have created. And that's why it's so important, okay, to not just create a great product, but you want to show that a great product is truly great. And this is the foundation of the entire branding industry. But we know, I mean, we're surrounded by businesses we move around with, we work with, we have interactions with these businesses every day. And so we know that it's very unrealistic to expect that a startup or a small business, as it were, would have the budget for large branding projects like what you have with the multinationals. Okay, and so we started this little thing called Brand My Idea a few months ago, where we just had this IG live thing of just 30 minutes every Monday. We'll just stream a conversation around some aspect of branding. Okay, now there are core principles of branding, but we wanted to put it out in very simple and everyday language, such that anybody who watches the stream can take those principles and immediately apply it to their businesses right after the stream was over. So we don't do those IG live streams any longer, but you can find some of the previous episodes on our channel, right? But what we want to do right now is we're going to put out a video on branding every week, a really short video, but on branding. But we're still keeping to our goal of keeping things as simple and as relatable as possible. What I want to do today is I want to kind of put a brand on this, but I'm hoping that I can do this often, well, probably like every month, or I don't know how often, but I'm hoping I can, try and do this often, like what I'll just call like a brand feature. So I'm just going to put a brand on the spot. I want to see specifically what a small business, you're a solo entrepreneur, or you run a business with a couple of people, but it's just a small business and just trying to put that idea out, and want to see if we can glean anything from these brands. Today I'm going to put a brand called TikTok on the spot. I'm sure the name rings a million and one bells. So like 3 years ago, I mean, think of what social media was like for us. We were basically in social media paradise. We had all the platforms we would have loved to have. We had Facebook, we had Instagram, we had Twitter, we had Snapchat, we had Medium, where they were around. But we had, all social media platforms we could ever need. Who would have thought that there was still some space on the scene for this new kid on the block? And so now, 2 years ago, Chinese-based TikTok just emerged on the scene. So they grew in popularity. Of course, they're Chinese-based, so their following grew a lot in China. But now, 2 years down the line, I'm reading that TikTok has been downloaded like a billion times. I'm sure over a billion times in like 150 markets. When we say markets, we mean in different markets, in the Asian market, in the African market, and all of that, in different 150 different markets, and 75 different languages. One app in 2 years. So TikTok has made it to the top 100 most valuable brands in the world. And I'm wondering, you have them standing on the same, in the same circle as brands that have been around for years, because it does take years to build a great brand. And how is it possible that a brand has become one of the top 100 most valuable brands in the world in 2 years? I mean, there has to be something that we can learn from them, and they obviously are doing something right. Now, whether or not they'll be around in the next 5 years, or somebody else comes and brings in something else, now that's really not the main issue. We want to try and see, there's something we can glean from them, that we can try and see that maybe is responsible for their huge success. I would say that uh, their product is perhaps key to their immense success. Now, get into what I mean by product. There are different aspects of branding, right? So you have your marketing, you have customer experience, and a whole lot of other aspects to a brand, visual identity of a company. There are many parts to building, a truly great brand. But remember that it's not just about what you have created; it's about what people see that you have created, and what people experience as what you have created, what they perceive. Let me not just say see, but what they perceive. So what lessons can your average small business learn from a TikTok, with their tremendous success? So I'll just take like three things that seem to jump at me. Now these are kind of my observations. So I was just really thinking around and wondering, especially from a market perspective, because obviously they're successful because they have so many downloads. They have so many downloads because there's something about them that people really, really enjoy. Okay, and I think that we can take away a few things and apply to our own businesses from what these guys are doing. And I think the very first thing that jumped at me from the TikTok model and the TikTok brand is what I just think: power to the people, right? So social media basically had kind of tantalized us with a sense of creative freedom. Okay, so first had, when the Facebook came out, there was High Five, there was MySpace, and at the onset of social media, um, one of the most attractive things back then with social media was this thing of, I can create something, I can create a persona, I can be somebody online, I can create, yeah, this, whether it's make believe, whatever it is, but I can create a persona online. Now, down the line, okay, so Facebook started giving us a little more freedom for to create. So you could now actually write, you could write notes, you could actually write. So they had this thing of, what do you think? And so you could come up with funny stuff and write that. Then Twitter came on the scene and just stretch that creative freedom a little more. You know what, I'm giving you 140 characters, say whatever you want. And that had opened up a whole new world of possibilities, for creativity. What's creativity? You're just bringing out something that did not previously exist. So whether it's a two-line sentence, or if you're trolling somebody, or a joke, or just something, whatever it is. Okay, you're just bringing out what was not previously existent. Okay, and so Twitter stretched that again. So you know what, now we're not asking you to show me an album of your last vacation or whatever, but what are you thinking? And so you have a whole new world of possibilities. I mean, Nigerian Twitter is the biggest testament to the boundless possibilities you can have with 140, now 280, I guess, characters. You now realize that there's a lot of creative possibility within 280 characters. But yeah, so over and over we just had this, so just stretching us, kind of just giving us a little more, and we're just taking the bait. We wanted more. The more creative, or the more of a platform for creative expression that these brands gave us, the more we wanted, the more we wanted to do. And so TikTok came and just entered the scene and tore the whole thing apart. And so where you had a gradual build up of this little a bit of creative freedom, and TikTok just came and rode on that wave and just basically gave us more creative freedom. That is all. Okay, and so that is why they have, in my opinion, they have, they are positioned to really becoming a lot more popular, especially with Generation Z. So Generation Z had grown up with the Facebooks, and they grew up knowing that there was some things you could do online with your creativity. And so it only makes sense that anybody who gives me more of what I already know and have tasted to be good, I'm going to run after that person. And I think it's a very valuable lesson for any small business, especially if you are entering a crowded market. It's very simple. You want to look at what people already have, and what people are already familiar with, and what people are already satisfied with, and you want to just go and give them a little more. You want to give them, okay, so you've had a taste of this, I've given you a little bit of this, people have enjoyed this in your market. Now, even if you are not entering a new market, you look around where your market, wherever you are playing, your industry, your sector, and see what people are already familiar with, what is obtainable, what people already have. And you want to look at it and say, what more can I give? What is it within this space that people have not yet tasted or seen yet? Whatever it is, whether you are in food, whether you are in fashion or tech, whatever field that you are playing in, you want to look at what people already have and what has been given to them. And you want to now see what more, how can I stretch this again? What within this playing field can I give people that they have not yet seen? And I think that is one of the foundational basis, I guess. I stand to be corrected. If you have something else to say, please let me know in the comment section. But I think like that. This thing of giving, we already had some creative freedom with social media, but you see, TikTok came and just said, you know what, I'll give you more, right? So you're not just taking a picture, you're not just doing a graphic to put on an IG page. You can do a video. It just gives me more room to be creative. That's all. So they just expanded the room for creativity just a little more than what we already had. And so obviously we have tasted creativity, we like creativity, and so this isn't what you're just trying to now say, okay, do you want this, do you want that? We know creativity, we love creativity. You give me more, I run after you. And so sometimes it's not just introducing a new product, as in where or let me not say a new product, let's say something, a new kind of product. It may just be, what extra can we add to this? People already know and love this. What extra can I add to this? What more can I do with this? What can I stretch this to become than what people are already familiar with? Okay, I think it's very powerful for any small business, because you see, you have your market right there with you, and so you can easily understand it. You don't need some big market research budget. Your market is right with you. Okay, so you just want to study and see, what do people already have, or what people already have access to. Give them something a little more, take it a notch higher. Okay, take it a little further than what people are already used to. Okay, now the second thing that in my opinion is responsible for the huge success of TikTok in such a short period is this thing of just enough. So TikTok has this 15-second video thing, which I think is absolutely profound. I mean, give me just enough that I enjoy it, I get the creative high, but not so much that I get bored and I tune out. Think about it. I get just enough time to have an idea and quickly implement my idea without doing a lot of work. So 15 seconds is just enough to really come up with an idea and quickly implement your idea, but you don't have to do anything after that. It's just 15 seconds. You can think of a very funny skit, do your funny skit, but you don't have to build up on it. You don't have to write a script. It's just as it comes. 15 seconds is just enough to get out whatever is in your mind without doing any real work to build it up. And I think that that's golden, right? Just enough. Sweets come in small sizes for a reason. You cannot lick a bowl of sweets because you get sick, right? But it's tiny for a reason, because it's just enough so that you can taste the sweetness. But that's enough. Not no more than that. Just enough to taste the sweetness, but nothing more. And so I think it's a very, very, very genius principle, if we can call it that, that they apply to cut down that time to be creative to just 15 seconds. Because if you're, anybody here who has had an idea, you know that having an idea is just one part of the of the work. It's a very small part of the work. Actually working on it and building it into something is the real work, right? And so I'll give you room to be creative, but I'll just give you enough room to get your idea out, and that's it. Okay. You don't have to think of a script, a 1 minute script. You don't have to think of what you're going to do for 30 seconds. Just enough time to reenact your idea, sweet enough that you taste the sweetness, but nothing more. short enough rather, that you taste the sweetness but nothing more. And I think that that's genius. For any small business, it is so important that you um, present yourself as valuable. You know, whatever your product is. Now this is on product. We're talking about product, but you want to create a product that gives people just enough of something, not too much, not less, just enough. Okay, so if your product has to do with a process, you don't want it to be something that I have to do for long. If your product involves me to walk into a physical location, don't make me stay in the location for more than is necessary, just enough that I taste the sweetness but nothing more. If a product is something that is eaten or consumed, is the size that is just enough to satisfy and nothing more. You want to call people, you want to create this sense of value that makes me want more. Okay, I don't want more of something that I'm over full of. I want just enough that I lead up my taste buds, and that's it. So that I remember the taste, I remember the high I had, and I want to come back for more. Now the third thing that I observed, or that I felt that we can take from the TikTok brand, is there are no sign up rule. I thought that was genius, right? Every app that we have, that we have grown to know in terms of social media, starts with that sign up page. Everything, most apps, that we've come to know and interact with, starts with sign-ups. And I thought it was genius that TikTok just shortens that process such that it's almost non-existent and takes you right down to the heart of what they are trying to offer. This is genius. As much as you can, eliminate every useless process. I call it cut the slack. Okay, eliminate processes. Well, let me not use the word useless, because they have there's a purpose to it. But as much as you can eliminate, please take out. So look at your own business process and see what can you shorten. When I say business process, I'm more concerned about the parts of your business that your customer interacts with, how they make an order, how they, what happens after they make an order, how they get their order. How much can you cut off? Must they go through the ordering this way? Is there something you can take out? You want to make sure that you shorten the time between what a customer wants what you're selling and reaching for what you're selling. You want to shorten that time, or shorten that space. Help them get to what you're selling in as short a time as possible. It's that simple. So you look at your process and see, do they have to call this number, or can they just order via this thing? Do they have to enter a page first before they get to make an order? Is a sign up necessary? They have to fill a form. Do we need all of this? Can they order with a click? Do I have to take all these details? Whatever it is, you want to make sure that you are trying as much as possible to cut whatever slack is needed. The shorter the time between your product, you have told me that your product is amazing. Don't make me wait in line for it, right? So the shorter the time between when I want your product and when I get it, the more valuable your brand is. Okay, and I haven't talked about slack that maybe is legitimate, so to speak, like maybe a sign up or an ordering process or whatnot. But you also want to make sure that you cut away slack that is just down to being sloppy and all that. So somebody, you have this amazing ad that you have sent out, and somebody dials the number and it's switched off. You never ever want those kind of things to happen. Always ensure that desire is instantly met with acquisition. As soon as a customer desires what you're selling, please make sure that it's available to them. Cut down that space between desire and acquisition. You want to make sure that it is as as narrow, that gap is as narrow as it possibly can. If you can eliminate it entirely, that would be amazing. If you can create a process such that as soon as a customer desires what you're selling, they get it, you have created an intensely valuable brand. Okay, so those are three top things. There are a lot of others you can read online. A lot of people have used TikTok as case studies, and they have tried to see why are these guys so successful. 2 years, and these guys are about the 70, I think they are 72 or so, in the world's most valuable brand. That is huge. 100 of the world's most valuable brands. You see, a company that is only 2 years old is right on the top of it. Okay, and just this, I mean, this is not exhaustive, but these are the three top things that I could glean from them. You can, type your thoughts as well in the comment section, or you want to send me a DM. I'm Ty Farai on Instagram, but you can send us also a DM at imago_da, or you can send us an email, info@imagoda.com. Just type it in the comment section. But I'd love to hear what you think, and if there are things that maybe we have missed as well. I'm sure there's a whole lot of other things that strike us about the TikTok brand, and you can just put it out in the comment section. Would absolutely love to hear what you think. I hope that this was a little helpful. Like I said earlier, every week we'll just put out a video, talk around some aspect of branding. I'm really hoping and keeping my fingers crossed that in a very short time we would have homegrown African brands, homegrown African products, homegrown African ideas and businesses stand side by side, okay, as the world's most, or stand side by side with the world's most valuable brand. All right, thank you for watching. Have a lovely week ahead. Please subscribe to our channel so that you can get notifications, and share the content. Okay, if you know a small business owner, or an entrepreneur, somebody working with a small business, share the video, share the content. Let's know how helpful it was for you. Have an amazing week ahead.